Brian here from Linden Tech to talk to you about the basics of using Excel. The first thing you might want to do with Excel, get some data into it to work with. There's several ways of importing data and types of data you can import. Through the data ribbon at the top of Excel, you have lots of sources you can import from SQL servers to XML data imports and from other queries. The simplest one of these is from text. I'm going to choose here a file that's got some internet speed data in it that I've used previously. I can choose to import from a fixed delimitation or from a specific width. This data in this case is from a fixed width, so that's what I'm going to choose. I'm going to say that it has a header. It gives me an example of down the bottom how I would expect the data to be displayed. As I go through, I can choose different options, set different fields as having date, text, depending on the type of information inside. And when I click Finish, it will allow me to choose a location and import that data. I now have some data in there that I can start working with. Once you've imported the data, you probably want to format it so it's a bit more friendly. By going to the Home tab, we can choose Format as a Table and give it a formatting that will make it more easy to read. I'm going to choose that my table has headers. Yes, I will. And I can now view that data more easily. I can add more formatting to the table by going to the Home ribbon again and choosing the borders. I can give it a thick outer border, and that gives my table an edge so that it's more easily visible and separable from other data. There are a lot of different ways of formatting cells. A lot of them are available on the Home ribbon. Another way, I can select an entire column. Using the shortcut Control-1, I get a full Format Cells window. I can go in here, I can choose a lot of different options. I can choose, for example, currency, Australian, no decimal points, and all those change into a currency value now. You can also format cells like this with borders, and I can even give them some fill and change the entire appearance of all those cells just through that one window. You can also do formatting within the table. I can insert a column here and I can go and get some functions. I can search for text functions. I'm going to use concatenate. I'm going to choose each of my source and destination cells. I click OK. That will autofill the entire table. If I work outside the table, I might want to do something a bit simpler. So I'm going to choose those three cells and go Sun. And it will auto extend that table out to include those values. At the top of each column there is a way of filtering the data inside. So I could unselect everything and select just a few items that I'm interested in. And then I can only get results for those items. I can further filter that by going smallest to largest or going less than. I'm going to choose less than 600. I can do other options as well, and it will limit me to just those three results. This can be done in a number of ways for a number of different data sets and options. Play around and see what works for your data. Another useful tool is conditional formatting. I'm going to show an example of it here. I'm going to choose my bytes column. I'm going to go through conditional formatting. I'm going to give it some scale. I'm going to choose one of these options. I'm just going to choose the first one. Gives me the option that anything that's a very low number is red, anything that's a very high number is green. That's the wrong way around for me. So I'm going to go back into conditional formatting. I'm going to manage that rule. Here is the specific rule. I'm going to edit it, and now I can change this around. I can put red on the opposite side and green on the other. When I apply that, it updates my values so I can easily see what is what in my data set. In Excel, there are two very powerful tools. There's more functions, which allows you to search for any number of things you may want to do. I can search for text, and it can tell me what I can do. I can change a number value to a text. I can search for text, find, I can hyperlink. There are a lot of different options in here. Lookups and variables. I can search for multiply, it gives me different options. There's also categories that you can look under depending on what you're working on. Depending on your area, different functions will apply to you. The other one is, if you're using 2016, up the top you have a search feature for adding different things like comments, inserting a table, and this will give you guides on most Excel features and will help point you in the right direction depending on the work you're trying to do. So I've only really been able to cover a very basic set of Excel's features. There are many guides online for more advanced features and different ways of doing almost anything you'd like to do with a set of data. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful.